creatives? My name is Matthias, known as that Matthias Kid on Instagram, or just TMK for short. I want to welcome everyone to Dreaming in Red by Hearts Cove, where dreaming in red means dreaming with energy, passion, strength, courage, and most importantly, creativity. We talk with creatives about the sacrifices they have made to reach their own success and look to inspire other creatives from all around the globe. Today, I am beyond excited to introduce the guest for this episode. Personally, one of my favorite photographers, the one and only, extremely talented, beyond creative, Mr. Alexsey Reyes.
Hey y'all, my name is Alexsey Reyes. I'm a portrait and fashion photographer. I'm also a content creator, so I share my art and stuff online, like TikTok and Instagram. Um, yeah,
Nice. And you said you're based in Texas, correct?
yeah, I live in Houston, Texas.
Sweet, sweet. Okay, so first and foremost, just to, kind of get to know a little bit about yourself. What is it? What are some things that you like to do outside of photography?
Outside of photography, I love music, so I go to concerts a lot for fun. I
Hmm.
do shoot concerts with like photography, but I also just like going to like see artists I like. Um, I like going outside a lot, like Houston. I just moved here like 2, 3 years ago, so like just checking out new parks or walking around and hanging out with friends has been really fun recently.
Right. Yeah. So what's some of your favorite artists at the moment? Can you give me a few that you've been like obsessed with recently? Music artist?
Yes, yes, yes. I have been obsessed with Omar Apollo.
Dude,
Sis,
same.
yes, Omar is insane. SZA, of course, she's probably one of my favorite artists. Um, and yeah, those are some of my go-tos recently.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I actually just recently discovered, and I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about this same thing. I discovered him about like 2 to 3 weeks ago, so I'm fairly new, but I
No
discovered
way.
and I was like, oh, he's like Mexican American as well, so that's another like good reason to support him. And his music is just amazing, to say the
It's
least.
good. So good. Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, I just discovered him. I've been in love with his music as well, and like I said, I'm fairly new, but I would like to catch a concert of his sometime in the near future.
Yeah, they're actually him and SZA are actually going on tour this spring, so
I saw that. Yeah, so I'm gonna be looking into that one. Are you a Spotify or an Apple user?
I'm a Spotify user all the way. I
Yeah.
just can't do Apple, I'm sorry.
Oh, me too. I mean, I'm a avid like Apple user outside of like the actual software because like I'm like a MacBook person, iMac person, iPhone person. But like
Oh,
Spotify
yeah.
just platform is just like I just enjoy Spotify way more than Apple Music.
No, same. Same, exactly.
No hate to anyone who uses Apple, but I'm just personally a Spotify person. I found it very easy, and although I did see today, I was on Spotify today, and it seemed like my app had updated, and apparently now on the like main screen of Spotify, it looks different. I don't know if it's updated for everyone listening now, but it has like huge like blocks of like today's like up hits and pop rising and hot hits USA. You know how it used to be like a little square where it looked like a little album cover? Now
Mm.
it's like a actual like moving video, and it's like takes up the entire screen, so you have to scroll through like an Instagram feed.
Oh, Spotify, don't mess it up now.
Yeah, I was about to say I saw that today, and I was like, I hope I can change this to like revert it back to normal. I'll have to go through and look at it, but I'm not liking how it's looking today, I'll say that.
Interesting.
All right, so you are background is Mexican, correct?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about how it is being raised in a Mexican household and how you started photography, coming out of a Mexican household. And I'm interested because I'm also Mexican, so.
For sure, yeah. So I was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and I moved here around 5 years old. I felt like I didn't have many, like, interests growing up. I was just kind of, like, going with the flow. And then, like, around elementary school, I got, like, a Nintendo DSi for Christmas. And that was the one that had, like, the little camera on it. So
Hmm.
I would just, like, take photos of anything I could, like trees, leaves, whatever it was. And that kinda got me interested in just taking photos and didn't really think much of it. I was, like, what, 9, 10. And then as I got older, I started to, like, take photos on my phone, and then that transitioned into, like, a camera when I was in middle school, and that's kinda how everything just, started from a Nintendo
Right.
DS.
So you would say you've been like You've been loving the art of photography for probably most of your life.
Yeah, it was just so natural. I feel like it was just like, oh, like I feel like I love being able to say that I can like I love being able to say that I own something.
Hmm.
So when someone's like, "Oh, like who took this?" I'm like, "Oh, I did."
Yeah, yeah, I got you. That's cool though, and I think that one of the things that a lot of people growing up and liking photography, I think one of the things, and I know at least for me, that I enjoyed the most is just the ability that I had to, like the feeling when I created something and like I looked at it and I was proud of it. Like that was just such a good feeling that like it made me want to keep doing it and like keep upping the game and upping the level where I could keep being proud of new projects and keep doing things that were maybe outside of my own comfort zone, the more and more that I grew and kept loving this thing. So yeah, it's very cool to hear that you started on a DS, because that's crazy. Like, taking pictures of things on a DS is, I would like to actually see that. That would be a cool like little like challenge or like YouTube video actually.
I wish I had my DSi. Like those photos are probably so like funny and like random, but I don't
Right.
have it anymore, unfortunately.
No, but
That'd
wouldn't
be
that
cool.
be an amazing like little challenge to watch on YouTube?
That would I would watch it.
See
Someone
how people could
please,
get creative with that.
right. I wanna see someone else's DS photos.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some people on YouTube that record like with like the toy cameras and
Mhm.
go out
Yeah.
and do like some of the like the Toys R Us cameras. It's cool to see what like they can actually do, and it's like wow, that's actually so like inspiring, because like dude, it's a $5 toy camera and it's somehow working.
Mhm.
It's cool.
Exactly.
So what would you say kind of like gave you that push to kind of, when you knew this is what you wanted to do as a career, like you want to make money from this, you want to make this something that you can do and be able to sustain yourself? Was there something that like happened along the way, or maybe you just like felt like you were at the point where this is the time that I need to actually like step it up and start charging people? Like, tell us a bit about how that process went.
Mhm. I think going back to what you said about like growing up Hispanic and doing this, um, when I was doing it as a hobby for a long time. I started posting my work on Instagram in like 2013, and yeah, did that as a hobby for like 4 years. And my parents, being Hispanic and like immigrants, I felt like it was one of those things like, what is this hobby? Like, what are you getting out of it? Like, put your time into something a little more valuable. They
Right.
they Right. Thankfully they've always been very supportive of it, but it was just like what's going on type of thing. Um, but when I was, I believe, 16 or 17, um, because I kept sharing my work on online, eventually an agency had reached out to me, like a creative agency,
Hmm.
and they like brought me my first like paid gig type of thing. And that was I feel like those were very reassuring. So after that, I started to take it a little more seriously and like, plan out my feed a little more, or like know like post on a certain time of day, like all those types of analytic stuff. But yeah, when I was like 16, 17, I was like, maybe this could be a job. Like maybe I don't need to force myself to go to college if I don't really want to. College is important for, lawyers and doctors and stuff, but
Hmm.
personally, I felt like from a young age, I was like, maybe I could just do this, like I love doing it, so why not turn it into a career eventually?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's cool. So you are one of the people that like now has it down with like the algorithm on what time to post and what best things to post. Like, would you say you got that mastered? Because I mean, I cannot figure out for the life of me, no matter how many YouTube videos I watch, how the algorithm works or when to post or any of that.
I feel like it comes in waves because the algorithm changes a lot, I feel like. Um, at this point in my life, there's like that carelessness of like, ugh, like I can post at noon or I can post at midnight, like who cares?
Hmm.
Because eventually people will see it, like their stories. People can, check out your story for the next 24 hours. Like
Right.
your For You page is always bringing up videos from people you follow. So it's like I don't really pay much attention to it anymore, honestly. But for a long time, I was very obsessed with it, and it kind of influenced my work, I would say a lot. So
Mhm.
yeah, I kind of, stopped caring too much. And I feel like that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk about, on kind of the same note. I want to talk about your following. So would you say there was a point in time where it was like one of those things that it just like boom, you something blew up overnight and all of a sudden your followers just started growing, or would you say it was like a steady
Uh,
incline?
it was a pretty steady incline on Instagram since I started in 2014.
Mhm.
There was like, a whole photo community back then where people would just like if a photographer posted a photo, it get 20K likes and you'd gain like 5K followers in a day.
Wow.
But yeah, Instagram was yeah, it was a really cool time. But Instagram was like that for a long time. And then in 2020, when TikTok became popular, I did kind of regain a much of a larger following on there, and then transferred people over to my Instagram. So it's been steady on one side, and then kind of more like a faster incline on content.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so you would say you post mainly on Instagram, right?
I'd say mainly on TikTok in terms of like content, yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
it's since quarantine, like TikTok kind of became my like full-time job, so that's been like a big focus. Instagram, I feel like I'm starting to share reels again, but for a long time I stopped just because they weren't doing well and it kind of like I felt uninspired by them. I'm starting to get back on Instagram. How I feel like there was like a lot of talk of how it kind of died earlier last year.
Hmm.
I've heard some good updates about how they're like, prioritizing photos again and stuff like that. So we'll
Right.
see what happens. But for now, TikTok's been a big priority for me.
Okay, so on the topic of reels, I think from what you're talking about, like how Instagram is supposed to bring it back up to like you prioritize photos now, and I feel like they've been saying that for a while though. Like maybe it's just me, or maybe I've been hearing the wrong things, but I feel like they've been saying that for a while, and then somehow it's still just reels that have like the best engagement for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trusting it a little more because I've read more news articles about it.
Hmm.
And one thing about Instagram, I used to actually be like have like an internship at Instagram when I was a teen. There was this program called like Teen Collective, like ambassadorship type of deal where I've met like other teenagers across the country. Not necessarily everyone was a creator, but you just like we got to test features out and give the team feedback and stuff like that. So
Mm,
one thing I've
cool.
learned over the yeah, and, like, one thing I've learned over the years has been, like, when Instagram says something or announces something in, like, a news article, it'll take them a few months to, like, actually until we actually see some change, so, maybe wait it out, give it, like, the summer. I feel like photos are coming back. I feel like,
Yes.
photography will never die, but they're starting to realize how much we actually care for them, so
Hmm.
Instagram,
Please,
get on it,
Instagram.
please. No,
Yeah.
please, like
Okay, I want to talk about your creative portraits because you have to be probably in my top three favorite photographers at the moment for sure. I enjoy seeing all your work on my feed, so I want to talk about your creative portraits for a second here. Um, First thing I want to talk about is I saw that you did an album cover for KAIRO
Yeah, it was for their EP. By the way,
EP.
thank
Yeah,
you for the compliment.
no, no worries at all.
Um,
My pleasure.
yeah, it was their EP, their first EP that they had released. They're actually friends from here in Houston, and I met them over TikTok and over quarantine and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But they had reached out because the EP is kind of like it's paying like honor to the city, so I feel like they wanted a Houston photographer for it.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, that was fun. That was I feel that was my first time photographing an artist like album or like anything for like Spotify and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's sick. So if you guys haven't heard and you're listening to this, go check out um and know that the what is the album the name of that EP?
It's letters to Houston from Houstoners. Love letters from Houston.
Love Letters from Houston. Guys, if you're listening, go check that out. Alexsey took the photos for that EP. So when you guys see that, know that it's Alexei that took those very cool shots. I just wanted to quickly touch on that because I saw that earlier today and I was just like, wow, those like just the shots are so cool. And like I listened to the music as well, like very good artist as well.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely killing it. But yeah,
So
it
they're
was
local to
such a
Houston as well, you said.
yeah, they're locals. I think they're in LA now, but yeah, I think they grew up here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool. So talk to us about your creative process. Like, do you work on projects? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you kind of create your own projects and like have creative freedom to do that with most of your shoots, or is like most of your work like something that the client reaches out to you and says, I have this idea, can you make it come to life, or do people kind of give you the creative freedom to kind of help them out with that?
Yeah, I think because of being like a video creator on TikTok, I've been able to have much more like creative freedom. I would definitely say when quarantine started, a lot of my photography, like only type of work and gigs kind of stopped because, we couldn't do photo shoots. But ever since that, I've been mainly like 95% doing like TikTok content and TikTok photo shoots,
Right.
for like a better explanation. But yeah, those give me a lot of creative freedom and I just, you know, present the brand or the client with my idea and kind of, get a little bit of feedback, but for the most part, they kind of let me do what I want, which is really cool. Because I feel like I have a lot of ideas in my head. Just
Mm-hmm.
need the right production or like budget to execute them. But
Yes.
yeah, really glad it's like really glad I get to like, have my own spin on a lot of the projects I do.
Yeah, I can tell based on all your work on just Instagram and seeing it that you have a lot of creative ideas and a lot of creative things to offer to anybody you work with, and that's just something amazing to see because it's different, right? And people like to see refreshing content. They don't like to see the same stuff over and over and over again. So it's very good to be able to see the difference and the rarity of your work, because it is, I mean, it's, I see some things that you do and it's like I don't see that anywhere else, or like I don't see any other photographer creating like this. So yeah, it's very cool. I want to talk about the shoot that you did based on La Loteria with Basi.
Yes, 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 yes.
I saw that. That was the first shoot that I saw. I think I was scrolling through Twitter, and that's how I even just like discovered you. I scrolled to Twitter and I saw that. Um, and I obviously had followed him from watching his TikToks, and I saw the photo shoot, and I was like, "Whoa, this is nuts!" And I like how you
Thank
incorporated
you.
the like Mexican aspect to it, because that's so cool.
Yeah, that shoot was really cool because I've been meaning to do um, more photo shoots based around like our culture. So when Bazzi had reached out, it was actually like a client type of shoot. I brought him the idea and he was just so down for it. And yeah, we just kind of like paid homage to La Loteria. We all grew up kind of
Hmm.
playing that. And thought it would be cool to put it in some sort of editorial studio space and kind of play with that.
Oh, for sure. If you guys are watching on the YouTube video, the pictures will be on screen that we're talking about, so you guys can see these are insane. I absolutely love these photos, and maybe some of these people you'll know from TikTok, or you'll just recognize. Who are some? Speaking of that, who are some people that you've worked with that maybe like you think are like, well, I never thought I'd be able to like work with these people or get to create with these people.
I feel like I didn't really think much about like I don't know. It's a weird question because since I feel like I've been on social media for so long, now I'll meet some people and then they'll end up like, doing other things in the future that'll like, make them blow up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've shot with like Olivia Rodrigo in the past or like Emma Chamberlain, back when they were kind of starting out. Like we were all in this like, like teenagers trying to become content creators and like, I shot them and now I like, I love Olivia's music. I watch Emma Chamberlain, so
Right.
that's kind of a cool little thing that I get to, like, tell my friends and stuff like, "Oh, like, they're really cool people in real life," and stuff like that, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you kind of like shot for them and worked with them while they weren't, you all were kind of growing together, so it's not like you could say like that you were like mind boggled by shooting for them, because at the time you guys were all kind of just growing together as a whole, so there wasn't really much to be mind boggled by. It was just like a normal human next to you kind of thing. And I guess my question is like, anybody now where you sit and where you stand in life, that you would maybe be like looking forward to shooting with, or that would be a dream of yours to shoot for, that you know, maybe you want to work towards.
Yeah, over the past 2 years, I've, like, always wanted to shoot with, Kiki Palmer. I
Mm-hmm.
just think she's so funny and, like, her personality is just the best, and I also grew up with her, so, shooting people like that, like SZA, love her music, that'd be super cool and just, like, a cool, like, "Oh, like, get to meet you and, like, create art with you," like, that's the
Right.
best feeling.
Do you ever reach out to people first in regards to doing like a photo shoot, or maybe someone that you see that you want to work with, instead of it being the other way around where clients kind of reach out to you? Do you ever have that where you're the one that reaches out and kind of offers someone something?
I definitely reached out before, I feel like when you're starting out, you always have to, put yourself out there first and get out of your comfort zone. So, I reach out to people. I don't always get responses, but, it doesn't hurt to try, doesn't hurt to email,
Mm-hmm.
kind of stalk and see, like, where the manager's email is. But yeah, always good to reach out to people.
Yes, 100%. So one of the things when starting is that I get a lot from, you know, different people in this area, and one of the main questions is like, how long would you say do you shoot for free, and when do you know like when it's time to start charging? What would be your advice on that?
Um, Personally, I feel like my experience, there's been a lot of confusion and, like, feeling lost when it comes to pricing things. Um, I did, like, the whole, like, senior portraiture and stuff, early on because I needed money and I wanted to, like, get a camera and stuff.
Hmm.
But after a while, I, like, stopped doing them, even though, like, I did need money. I feel like focusing your time on things you actually want to achieve in the future and sometimes, like, very helpful. It's kinda like manifesting, but you're putting action into it instead of just words. Um, so our charging has like been all over the place, but it's a little different now because with TikTok and like content creators, the economy is like huge, like it's growing every day. And so it's been a weird influx, but yeah, I was talking to like a photographer friend yesterday who said he shoots like $300 magazine covers, which
Hmm.
is crazy. Like that's how much you get paid for that. I didn't know that. Um, but yeah, you just kind of have to be able to know your worth, and if you're a photographer catering to people in your like city, like kind of look at other photographers what they charge, and don't compare your work, compare your like kind of work ethic and how much you're putting into it, how much time, how much equipment you're putting into all that stuff.
Right. I like that. I like that. Don't compare your work, compare your work ethic. That's the new quote of the day for today. I like that. One of the things that I noticed about your work and that I wanted to bring up is the fact that so you do concerts, maybe not as much as I see for your creative portrait stuff, but how's it like? Just want to briefly touch on it. How's it like shooting concerts, and what would you say you enjoy most about shooting concerts when you do get the chance?
Concerts are definitely such like a hobby to me. Like I rarely get paid to do concert photography. Um, but I do it a lot because I just love like music. Like I said earlier, like
Hmm.
signing up to shoot like the artists that are on my playlist is always so fun because I get to be, up front, get photos of them. So it's like mixing my passion and like a hobby together. And it's like it's just the best of like the two things that I love in life, music and
Exactly.
photography.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the best of both worlds for sure. When I shoot concerts, I always try to aim to be able to shoot for for artists that I listen to. So being able to be there and be up front and be able to just capture moments that are like people that I never thought I would be able to be that close to, and then on top of that, like seeing a full on performance and full on show while I'm doing my thing is like you just can't beat it, in
Right.
my opinion.
It's the best.
What is one of the most proud moments in your life so far, whether it be maybe photography related or not? Like, what is a moment that you can look back on and just tell me about that you think, okay, this has to be one of my most proudest moments of my life?
Um, I in 2019, I got an award from Instagram for like it was like an identity award for being Hispanic and being like an artist on Instagram.
Hmm.
And I'll never forget this moment, but I like accepted the award in front of like some of my favorite actors and like icons growing up, like Eugenio Derbez,
Wow.
Nelo. And it was such a cool moment because I had my mom was in the audience as well, and just, like, it just made me feel really proud of myself and kind of it was like a huge reassurance, like, "Oh, like, this can be my career," you know, like, I may sometimes have some doubts in my work and in myself, but other people see, like, what I can do, so it's, like, very, like, reassuring. It was a cool very cool moment.
Oh, that sounds insane. Like the
Yeah.
names you just name dropped was like, wow, yeah, that's insane. That's
No, yeah.
crazy. Congrats on that. I had no idea, but I'm glad you shared that with us and everyone listening because that's awesome. That's awesome to
Thank
know.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
congrats. How is it living in Houston and being a creative? Because I spoke to somebody last week, an episode where they live in Los Angeles, and I feel like Los Angeles is the place to be for most creatives. So how have you liked it? How do you think it feels to be in Houston and being a creative, with whether it's photography or music or whatever it is? Like, do you think Houston is a good spot to be for that, or do you like kind of agree that Los Angeles is the place?
Houston is definitely one of my new favorite cities because I actually moved here 3 years ago. I lived in Dallas for a long time. I don't really like Dallas, no
Hmm.
shade. But, Houston is such a cool city because it's, like, growing creatively a lot, like, there's fashion shows, nightlife is really cool, photographers and, like, video like, filmmakers and stuff, like, there's stuff going on every week, I feel like. So for now, I'm very happy here. In terms of like LA, I do like visiting a lot, but I'm not sure I would say like moving there for now is an option or like I'd really like to because um I feel like also New York is an amazing place for artists. I feel like LA is more content creator based
Right.
like there's a lot of tech companies there that or and brands that like host stuff for creators, but New York recently has been such a go-to spot. Like I went to Fashion Week for the first time and that week alone was like super inspiring. Like so many artists, so many designers and people to just network with. Like it's a cool city, but yeah, I love Houston for now.
Got you, got you. So, as far as your work and your workflow goes, do you primarily use Lightroom or is it like Photoshop Lightroom mixed or just Photoshop? What is your workflow like?
I use Photoshop for all my composites, so, like, the, Bassi photo with the cards falling
Mm-hmm.
on him, like, had to composite that together, so that was, Photoshop, but I do all my color grading using, Lightroom, and then I use a little bit of Procreate on my iPad to add some, like, more so, like, highlights, shadows, or just, like, a glow to the photo and different brushes to add, like, colors or change colors of objects when I'm too lazy to, like, use my computer to do it in Photoshop.
Right.
So, yeah, I use a mix of those 3 mainly.
Okay, got you. Are you into video at all?
I'm not into video, actually. I've throughout the years, like, I've had a lot of, like, people push me to, try video. I've tried it. It's fun, but, like, personally, I love, like, creating content, like, on my phone with it. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
kinda the process of, like, getting a camera out and filming and, like, worrying about the audio and color grading the like, all of
Right.
that is, like, I love photography, like, I feel like sometimes you don't have to be everything
Mm-hmm.
if you're not passionate about something, so, yeah, I love photography for now, but maybe in the future, you never know if, music videos sound fun, so I don't know,
Right.
maybe in the future.
Right. For now, you're very into the short form videos and just like the quick access.
Yes. I love an easy way to still make videos, but, not have to deal with the whole process of
Got you.
filmmaking.
Got you. So I also saw on your page, and I don't want to pronounce this wrong. It's UNIA.
Yeah,
Is that,
Unia.
yes, Unia? Is that anything you want to speak about? You want to
Yeah,
ask?
yeah, Unia magazine is a like publication I started. It originally was a blog for photographers like back in 2015. Would repost people's like photography on Instagram. Like shout out and feature pages were a huge thing back then. So
Hmm.
it started off as that just to build community and um, inspire people to keep creating. Just having that repost meant a lot to me specifically. Just boosted me to keep going.
Right.
So that's why I started it. I just feel like it was important to have community and as far as I think 2022 or 2021, I transitioned that into more of a like publication where we can, interview artists, cover concerts, and have people submit to it. And we're currently working on our print issue for our first print issue, which is really exciting. But yeah, Unia is open to any artist. If anyone's interested in like submitting work or art, that'd be really cool. And I'm really excited to keep working on that.
Right. Yeah, that's a great project, and I think that the idea that you said that you started it as a feature page. I remember back in the day as well when like having features on Instagram pages or photography feature pages was like a big thing. That's actually a very good idea. I don't know if it's as big now to have like the feature pages, but definitely back then I do realize and understand how big it was to be featured and to be shared on a feature page like that. So that actually probably helped a lot in growing your media publication that is now at the beginning, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I kind of missed it, like the whole like like people doing like joining contests and submitting photos and then getting
Hmm.
reshared. That was such a cool time.
Talk to me about any creative meetups or anything that you've done. I also went in and did some research on some other on your YouTube. And do you guys have many creative meetups that are in like local in Houston that you do or that you attend?
Yeah, we hosted our first Unia meetup this past summer, I think in August. We had like a bunch of people come out, take photos, and just meet, network with other creatives. And I'm definitely planning to do more this year. Hopefully in other cities too. I've hosted meetups in LA as well, so maybe we could do some Unia stuff down there.
Hmm.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
So exciting. Well, I want to ask you just one more question and kind of wrap up the episode in this way. And as you know, the purpose of Dreaming in Red podcast is to inspire, to kind of push creatives to further outbreak any barriers that they may be facing within themselves. Um, and the idea of dreaming in red is just dreaming with intent, having that purpose, that passion to accomplish something that you want to accomplish. I want to know from you, is there anything this year, 2023, it can be more than one thing, that you are very intently looking to accomplish, some of your goals? Just kind of tell us about that.
Some of my goals this year would definitely be to create more photos. I think in the past years I focused a lot on video creation, like for content creation, but I kind of want to bring it back to like my true passion, which is photography, and focus more on doing more collaborative stuff with like stylists and makeup artists. And I love a team like production,
Hmm.
so just reaching out to people and getting more of those really good shoots out where I think a lot, think through them a lot, have a lot of creative, like um, a lot of creativity behind them. That's something I'm really looking forward to this year.
Sweet. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, a lot of the times when you work in a creative project with other people, whether it be stylist, makeup artist, whatever it may be, colorist, it just feels that much more rewarding because there's so much work going into it, not just from you, but from the people around you that are putting in work into the same project, that when it's done, you know, that rewarding feeling is just something that's like, you just can't describe because it just feels so good.
Yeah, and it's always that like that one thing that the stylist points out, or like someone gives you a little idea that like changes the whole thing. So having people around you, especially creative people, is such a essential thing to like have in your life. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Alexei, thank you so much for your time, for talking to us, and for just sharing your experience with us along the years that you've done this. If I'm ever in Houston, I would love to stop by and grab a coffee with you or just kind of chat with you and pick your brain. I do come down to Texas maybe quite more often than I actually think, probably. So if I'm ever down there and you're open to grabbing a coffee or just chatting, I would absolutely love that. You're a very creative person, and I am inspired by you, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this that may not know you yet or that will discover you are extremely inspired by you and will be inspired by you because your work is beyond phenomenal. I'm 100% like a fan. I will say that proudly because also, like I mentioned before, I love supporting people that are also in my culture. I support everyone, right? But I like supporting more. It just kind of hits a little more when it's people that, you know, are within your same culture, Mexicans and Hispanics, and because we don't have too many successful people, you know, in the United States. So it does mean a lot that
Exactly.
you're doing creative things and you're stopping by today to speak with us. So thank you so much for doing that. Is there any last words that you want to say? Also, after that, you can just kind of plug your social media so people can follow you everywhere.
Sure. First off, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I feel like that I don't have anything else to say, but if anyone hearing this has any questions for me or wants to learn more about my process, you can check out my Instagram at Alexsey Reyes or my TikTok at Alexsey. I share a lot of tutorials and behind the scenes and share my process with people. So yeah, you can find me there.
Sweet, there you guys have it. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Dreaming in Red. We hope that you can continue to pursue your goals and dreams. And that will be it for this episode. Thank you once again to Alexsey. We appreciate your time and we wish you the best in this upcoming year and hope you accomplish all it is that you want to accomplish. So thank you again, and thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys, the viewers on YouTube. We appreciate it. And that'll be it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.